now making a side for Thanksgiving. It's cranberry sauce, and we're making it homemade because the stuff in the can at the store is disgusting. I think we can all agree to this. This only takes a few ingredients. It's really easy to make. You need a bag of fresh cranberries, 1 or 2 oranges, cinnamon. You can either use ground cinnamon or cinnamon sticks, and some sort of sugar. We're using coconut sugar. The first thing I'm going to do is take some zest off of the skin of the oranges to put in the cranberry sauce, and then I'm going to juice the oranges to get the juice out, because that's also going to go in the pan with the cranberries. This is actually a cheese grater, but it actually also works really well as a zester. You can use a cheese grater, or you can use an actual citrus zester to do this. You can see the zest accumulating on the back. It's also in the cup, you can kind of see it in there. This is really personal preference, so use zest as much as you want. If you don't like zest, then don't even bother with it. When you're zesting an orange, or any other citrus for that matter, you just run it across the zesting file, and you want to stop once you start to see the white part of the skin show up, because that part is bitter and you don't want that. Okay, I think that's good enough. We're going to juice the orange. It's just going to go in the same container. And again, the amount of orange juice you use is really up to you and your tastes. So this is from 1 orange. It's about a 1/4 cup of juice. I'm going to squeeze 1 more orange in there because this is most of the liquid that we put in with the cranberries. Okay, so that was all the prep that we really needed to do. So now we will put everything into a saucepan on the stove and let it boil and simmer. Now we're ready to put our ingredients into the saucepan and start cooking the cranberry sauce. You can start the pan on medium heat. But gotta put the right burner on. So you're just gonna dump those into the saucepan. We're gonna add our orange juice. I would usually measure this, but I can't get to my measuring cups. So you're gonna put some sugar in. There are recipes that you can follow that say how much sugar to put in, but it's really up to personal preference. For example, the recipe on the back of the cranberry bag says to use 1.5 cups of sugar, but I think that's way too much sweetness for cranberry sauce. So it's really up to you. I'm gonna start with maybe 1/4 or 1/3 of a cup, and then we'll add more if we need to. Some cinnamon. You can use a cinnamon stick. Those work well too. Or you can use ground cinnamon. Again, that's personal preference. You're just gonna let all of this start to simmer in the pot. And the cranberries will start to kind of pop and break down. Once they're all kind of popped and broken down, you can take it off the stove and you can start to strain it. Some recipes don't say to strain this, but I have found in the past that if you leave the skin and the seeds in it, it can actually make the cranberry sauce taste kind of sharp and like there's small stones in it when you're eating it, which is really not pleasant. Just kind of let that sit and start to warm up. These cranberries have been in here simmering for about 10-15 minutes. Take the lid off. You can see that they're kind of starting to burst, which is what you want. But they need to cook down further until it turns into like almost like a hot, soupy, like a jam kind of a texture. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so the cranberry sauce looks like it's done cooking. If you can see in the pan, all of the cranberries are broken down, and any ones that aren't broken down, like that one on the end of my spoon, you should be able to easily just apply light pressure and it pops. If your cranberries are still kind of hard, you want to cook them longer. They should really pop and disintegrate very easily. The next step here is taking this out, and we're going to push it through a colander. We're going to separate the skin here from like the jelly mixture, and then we'll refrigerate it. You can see, definitely looks like cranberry sauce. It's chunky, which is normal. I suppose if you really wanted to, you could eat it like this, but I have tried that before and I don't care for the skin and the seeds in it. So I'm going to push mine through a metal colander like this to get the seeds and the skins out and separate it from the jelly. This is a little time consuming here. So what we do is we put some in here. This isn't gonna make a lot because I only made a single bag of cranberries. This year I usually make 2 at the least because I really love cranberry sauce. So you're just gonna put it in, and I'm using just a regular dish spoon. And I'm just kind of pushing the sauce and the fruit around in the bottom of the colander, kind of forcing the jelly to go through the holes. And it helps also if you keep like a garbage bowl next to you, so you can just kind of scoop up the skin and seeds that you're not keeping and just throw it in there and discard it. Sometimes I'll run the skins through twice to make sure I've gotten everything out. And then what you can also do is turn over. You see there's a lot of jelly stuck here on the back side. Use a rubber spatula and just kind of scrape it off into the bowl. Usually I don't use this really big colander. Next, scoop here. I only made 1 bag, and I actually didn't put much liquid in this, so there's really not a whole lot of cranberry sauce in this batch. You can get more out of yours by adding more liquid, also by using more than 1 bag of cranberries. I have made this before with some Merlot wine, and it's pretty good with alcohol, but we're not doing that this year. But you will find recipes online for cranberry sauce with alcohol, usually wine in it, and it's pretty good. You can see here what's left. This is the jelly left in the bowl, and this is all of the skins and the seeds and the hard material that I don't like in it. You can run this through again, but I'm not even gonna bother because there's enough here for Eric and I. So you can just throw this out, or if you know another recipe or some other way to use this, feel free to use it in that. That's what you have left. Homemade cranberry sauce. I like to refrigerate it. I don't like eating it warm. I think it's better tasting when it's cold. Again, that is a matter of personal preference.